My boyfriend stormed out again because I came home late from overtime work and didn't clean the cat litter in time. This time I didn't go after him. Bullet comments appeared before my eyes. What's wrong with the female lead? The male lead is right outside the door. Hasn't he even pressed the elevator button, just waiting for her to chase after him? The male lead already noticed the female lead had low blood sugar earlier. If she just opens the door, he'd definitely come back immediately to cook her something delicious without hesitation. The male lead is just too insecure. That's why he is throwing a tantrum over cat litter duty. Truthfully, all he needs from the female lead is an I love you, and he'd go through fire and water for her. Who wouldn't love a man like that? Female lead, hurry and comfort him. The male lead's tears are about to fall. Yeah, the moment he stormed out, he already regretted it. Now he is drowning in guilt, practically clawing his nails to shreds. Woo, this is so heartbreaking. Just as she was hesitating whether to open the door and chase after him, she saw a message from her boyfriend. Gabriel, we're breaking up. Move out before I get back. My heart clenched, and my eyes instantly reddened. Fine, I put away my phone, wiped my tears, and went to pull out my suitcase. Oh, the male lead is so stubborn. He is clearly dying to come back and make up with the female lead right now, yet his mouth is so full and unyielding, still talking about breaking up. Is this really how insecurity manifests? Exactly. The male lead's parents divorced when he was young, and they both remarried quickly. He was abandoned by them from an early age. The female lead knows all this. Why is she really packing up her things now? Sweetheart, don't do this. He loves you so much. How will he survive if you leave? That damn mouth of his, you can't trust a word he says when he is angry. If you just open the door now, he'll come wagging his tail back to you in an instant. Sweetheart, don't actually pack your things. What will he do if you leave? No one in this world loves you more than he does. You've been together since high school, made it through 4 years of college, and finally graduated. You were about to get married. Don't do this. You're his whole life. What will the male lead do without you? And what about Blake? I started packing my things, no longer looking at the barrage of comments. I've lost count of how many times it's been. Every time he threatened to break up, he'd inevitably make me move out. Yet after every reconciliation, he'd always come back coquettishly, acting cute and saying. His words telling me to move out were never sincere. I remember the first time Nicholas asked me to move out. I was so frightened, I didn't know what to do. That day, because we were going on a trip, the next morning I worked overtime to finish handing over my tasks. This way I could enjoy the holiday without worries. Yet Nicholas believed I wasn't taking this trip seriously at all, otherwise I wouldn't have worked overtime until past 11 before coming home. He refused to listen to my explanations or show any understanding that I'd returned at 11 without even having dinner. He shoved the suitcase at me and slammed the door right in my face. No matter how much I tried to explain outside, it was useless. I stood outside the door on an empty stomach for half the night. It was already winter. By then I hadn't even had time to put on a coat when Nicholas pushed me out. I shivered uncontrollably from the cold outside. Nicholas never once came out to check on me. If I hadn't fainted from low blood sugar and been discovered by a passing neighbor who knocked on the door to call Nicholas out, what consequences that might have led to no one can say. That time Nicholas was scared out of his wits too. When I came to, he kept swearing promises to me. I love you so much, Sway Sway. If I say anything in anger, you mustn't take it seriously, okay? You know I have trust issues. As long as you give me enough security, I won't be angry about anything. I took his words to heart. So after that, even during every argument, he would tell me to move out. I knew he was just saying it in anger. I knew he was being difficult, and I knew he felt insecure. So, in my life, everything revolved around him. But I'm truly exhausted now. 8 years of me lowering my head each time, 8 years of being kicked out whenever I got angry. I'm really so tired. The packing was done quickly. I made myself a cup of instant noodles. I felt something tug at my ankle. Looking down, I saw it was Blake. The moment I crouched down, Blake leaped onto me. Blake originally belonged to a junior female student of Nicholas, as the girl lost interest in keeping him after less than half a month. After Nicholas brought him back, Blake became my responsibility. Whether it was changing the litter box, taking him for baths, vaccinations, or deworming, all these tasks fell on me. If I ever failed to do them promptly, Nicholas would stare at me coldly. If it weren't for your liking him, why would I have brought Blake home in the first place? Gabriel, when did you become so irresponsible? And just this time Nicholas was making a scene about breaking up. The reason was that I hadn't changed Blake's cat litter in time, and the room smelled. While eating instant noodles, I opened my phone only to see Nicholas's junior female colleague posting on social media. Homeless senior, you're so pitiful, I'll reluctantly take you in. The accompanying image shows half of Nicholas' face holding a glass at the bar. The male lead is so pitiful. Look, even though he has drunk, his eyes never leave his phone. He is still thinking about our daughter in his heart. Don't be angry, daughter. The male lead only invited that junior sister to make you jealous. He doesn't like her at all. She is just a plot device. Right? He is practically burning holes through your phone with his stare. Sweetie, just send him one message, and he'll instantly turn into your devoted puppy. Before I could finish reading the comments, my phone buzzed with a video message from an unknown number. In the video, Nicholas had his eyes closed, leaning against a woman's chest. The woman asked him, Nicholas, if you spent the night at my place, do you think your girlfriend would dump you? Nicholas scoffed coldly, give her the cold shoulder for a couple of days, and she'll be begging to carry me back on a sedan chair. The woman laughed until her flowers trembled. So, he is a simp, than the kind you can't shake off no matter what. I held my breath only to hear Nicholas murmur a low in response. The video ended there. I stared fixedly at the instant noodles before me. Yet couldn't bring myself to take another bite. So this was it, what I'd mistaken for heartache, what I'd believed were my gradual concessions. In his eyes, and everyone else's. You can just summon me at will and dismiss me as you please. A simp high glanced at the instant noodles in my cup. The cold noodles just looked like they had a layer of congealed grease on top. Disgusting 8 years of relationship, and in the end all that us left is one small suitcase. Meow meow. Black seemed to sense something stubbornly tugging at my pant leg. I hesitated for a moment, remembering that I'd been the one taking care of Black all year, and that Nicholas probably wouldn't want to care for him. I decided to bring Black along. By the time we reached the hotel, it was already 2 a.m. Early the next morning I turned on my phone and started browsing rental listings. Within just an hour, I found a small apartment near my workplace that caught my eye. Though a bit cramped, its proximity to the office would save me nearly an hour of commuting time. When we first graduated, we didn't live in that area. But Nicholas loved sleeping in. Every morning, he couldn't be woken up no matter how hard I tried. He was reprimanded twice by the company for being late. I was the one who suggested moving closer to Nicholas's workplace. Back then, I believed love could conquer all difficulties. As long as it was convenient for Nicholas, an hour-long commute was really nothing to me. Later, when Nicholas's business took off, the apartment he bought was near the company. We ended up living there for 2 or 3 years. Now that I've moved out, I can finally save all that commuting time. That same day, I moved into the small apartment. Gabriel, why haven't you left yet? The subway will stop running soon. A colleague reminded me to go home first while working overtime. Looking at the unfinished work, I shook my head. I've moved closer to the office. I'll go back after finishing work. Wow, Gabriel, you finally decided to move. My colleagues had long thought it unwise for me to waste 2 hours every day on commuting. Not only was it inconvenient, but also a waste of time. Listen, when I mentioned moving nearby, we all went out for a late night snack after work. Back home, I was so exhausted I fell asleep as soon as my head hit the pillow. The next day, just after work, I received a message from Nicholas's friend. Sis-in-law, did you and Nicholas have a fight? He asked, throwing a drunken tantrum at my place. I hesitated for a moment. This ISNTA fight, it's a breakup. A voice message quickly came through from the other side, carrying a slightly lecturing tone. For sis, this is really on you. You know exactly how his personality is. How many times has he talked about breaking up over all these years? And when has he ever actually meant it? You used to feel so much for him before. Why are you picking a fight with him this time? Don't say I didn't warn you. If you go over now and sweet talk him a bit, he might calm down and go back with you. If you don't come soon, what if he really decides to break up? You'll have nowhere to cry then. How ridiculous. All these years, even Nicholas's friends were convinced I couldn't live without him. Before I could respond, the call ended abruptly. Right after another address was sent over. I promptly blocked the person. After all, Nicholas's friend and I had always had a lukewarm relationship. Since I'd already broken up with Nicholas, there was no need to keep his friend around either. Why does our girl look genuinely angry? The male lead deliberately had his friend call her to give her an out. Couples shouldn't let fights linger overnight. Yeah, that's just how the male lead is always so awkward. He is actually madly in love with her, otherwise he wouldn't have given up his dream university to apply to the same one as her. Sire girl is still upset, and the male lead is already thrown up 3 times. If he keeps this up, he'll hurt his stomach. Am I the only one who thinks the male lead is just being dramatic? Why is it that when girls act this way they're called dramatic, but when guys do it they're awkward or insecure? This kind of behavior is equally frustrating either way. Reading the last comment, I couldn't help but let out a bitter laugh. ISNT that the truth, Nicholas is just being difficult. It was better when we first got together, but ever since he gave up attending his dream university for me, he has become increasingly unreasonable. If I didn't immediately try to make up after an argument, his friends would inevitably call, saying that Nicholas gave up his dream university for me, and yet I treated him this way. Doesn't your conscience bother you? But back when we were filling out applications, I repeatedly told Nicholas I didn't mind a long-distance relationship. Even if we were thousands of miles apart, Nicholas would still be the most important person to me. Yet Nicholas resolutely chose to attend the same university as me. When I first saw his college preferences, I repeatedly confirmed with him, was he really not going to change them? Was he truly choosing this path out of genuine interest? Nicholas, who had remained silent when I asked, got utterly drunk the day after the application deadline. It was only when his friend called me accusing me of being too harsh for supposedly forcing Nicholas to apply to the same university as me that I realized his dream school wasn't actually Nanjing University. But by then, I was already moved by Nicholas's gesture. I rushed over immediately and took the still drunk Nicholas home. But all these years, whenever he was unhappy or acted out, the people around him would immediately start blaming me. They kept telling me how much Nicholas had sacrificed for me. Over time, I truly grew tired of hearing it. As if Nicholas giving up his dream university for me meant I owed him for life. Gabriel, let us go, we're going to eat. 5. It was late getting off work today, and no one had time to order takeout. Finally off work, we made plans to grab a late night snack together. I used to live far away and was afraid of missing the last subway if I stayed out too late. So I rarely joined my colleagues for dinner gatherings. Now that they knew I lived nearby, they invited me along. I figured since I had nothing to do back home, anyway, I agreed. Our group of 5 or 6 went to a trendy restaurant for dinner, then made plans to hit a bar afterward. No sooner had I sat down than I noticed the lively commotion at the next table. I instinctively turned to look and was shocked to see Nicholas sitting there with his usual group of friends. Naturally, Eleanor, that little junior who always clung to him, was there too. Nicholas, a bet, find someone random here and kiss them for 3 minutes, come on, haha. It turned out to be a game of truth or dare. My casual glance happened to meet Nicholas's gaze. I didn't linger, withdrawing my eyes immediately. Nicholas seemed to pause for a moment before responding leisurely after a while. Alright. As soon as he finished speaking, cheers erupted from the crowd. Who would be thought Nicholas would be so cooperative today? Come on, tell us who are you choosing, ha ha ha. Someone couldn't resist teasing. We're all guys here. Of course Nicholas would pick our junior sister, or what would he choose you instead? You're all so annoying. Eleanor was teased and shyly covered her face with her hands. Hey Nicholas, a bet pick someone to kiss right now, or I'll have to step in myself. Ha 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 ha, Nicholas, your virtue is about to be compromised. The cheering from the next room grew louder and louder. The barrage of comments started persuading her one after another. What is up with our girl? Can't you see the male lead staring at you? He doesn't want to kiss anyone else. You're all he can think about right now. Exactly. He hasn't even gone home yet, and doesn't he know you moved out? He is still waiting for you to make the first move. Don't be stubborn now. What if he gets obstinate and actually kisses the supporting female character? Right, his silence means he is waiting for your reaction. Just glance in his direction. You don't even need to go over one look from you, and he comes straight to kiss you, without so much as glancing at anyone else. I picked up the glass and took a sip of wine. The moment I set the glass down, it accidentally tipped over onto the table. Oh, dear Gabriel, are you alright? How did you spill it? A colleague quickly called a waiter over to clean it up. Our commotion clearly caught the attention of the neighboring table. The lively group at the next table instantly fell silent. Many turned their gazes toward me. My junior colleague Eleanor even stood up, abruptly planting herself aggressively in front of me. 6 Gabriel, sis, your boyfriend just came out to hang with friends. No need to keep such a tight leash on him, right? My colleagues, having never met Nicholas or Eleanor, cast puzzled glances my way. Gabriel, do you know her? I smiled. No, I don't. Eleanor suddenly felt utterly humiliated. You. Eleanor, come back. From the neighboring table, Nicholas's icy voice called out in their direction. Eleanor shot me a disdainful glance, snorted coldly, and haughtily walked back. There was still no response from the other side. But soon Nicholas's voice rang out. What's wrong? Done playing the game? Nicholas's voice snapped everyone back to attention. Ha ha ha, forget it, Nicholas, just take a sip of wine and let it go. Holy shit, no way. Nicholas, you're actually serious. Hearing the alternating exclamations from the next table, I couldn't help but glance over. In the booth, Nicholas had one hand pressed against Eleanor's nape as their lips met. At first, Nicholas might have only intended it as a performance. But when Eleanor responded by threading her arms around his waist and holding him tight, Nicholas clearly became genuinely impassioned as well. When they parted, their fingers lingered together like melting cheese. My face pale, I averted my gaze. Though we'd already broken up, though I'd already convinced myself to let go. Yet when I saw Nicholas actually make a move on Eleanor, my heart couldn't help but tremble. It felt as if a hand had clenched my heart. The pain pierced my very soul. I lied about feeling unwell and left the bar early. I know I'm useless. I know I'm worthless. Witnessing such a scene, all I wanted was to escape. But there's no way around it, I think. My withdrawal period isn't over yet. But I know that Nicholas and I are completely impossible now. They say it only takes 7 days to quit something for good. I will get through this withdrawal period. 7 in the following days, I took the initiative to work overtime and took on many of my colleagues' tasks. After work, I frequently joined my colleagues for dinners. I even went on a cycling trip with my colleagues over the weekend. In short, the key is to keep yourself busy. Never think about Nicholas again. Strangely enough, after we completely separated, I found myself thinking about Nicholas less and less. There were even days when I didn't think about him at all. So when I saw Nicholas's message again, I was stunned for a moment. Nicholas, is Blake with you? I paused before replying yes. That's my cat, give it back. Nicholas's next message came through shortly after. I stared at the text completely baffled. I couldn't understand why Nicholas, who'd never even fed Blake, would demand him back after our breakup. The male lead is so awkward, he clearly misses the female lead, so why use the cat as an excuse? Actually, this is already quite rare for him. He took the initiative to contact the female lead. Doesn't that count as progress? Sweetheart, don't be angry anymore. Just forgive him. Even though he kissed the supporting female lead that day, he felt terrible afterward. He regretted it for a long time after getting home and kept wanting to reach out to you. But didn't he dare? It's really pitiful. I glanced at the barrage comments and finally understood why Nicholas came to see me. After a moment's thought, I deleted the already typed message, "Can you give me black?" and replaced it with "Okay. Where should I meet you?" I sent another 2-word message. On the other end, the typing indicator appeared and disappeared several times before he finally replied, "I'll come find you." I responded with a simple "okay," then went back to bring Blake downstairs to the company entrance. Sure enough, Nicholas's car soon pulled up outside the office building. What came down wasn't just him alone. "Blackie, mommy, missed you so much." Eleanor rushed out from the passenger seat and snatched the cat from my hands. A sharp pain shot through my hand. I looked down. 3 long marks were left on the back of her hand. "Blake, let mom take a look at you." "Oh, dear, why are you so thin? Haven't you been eating well?" "Never mind, mom knows you're my own flesh and blood. No one but me and your father would ever truly care for you." Eleanor gave me a meaningful glance before finally, with great tenderness, scooping Blake into her arms. It turned to look at me, seemingly wanting to come over. But then it seemed to glance at Eleanor again, recognizing its former owner. Just as it hesitated, Eleanor had already opened a cat treat stick, and it immediately nuzzled up to her affectionately. Though I felt somewhat dejected after all I'd raised it for so long, yet in the end, I still couldn't compare to its previous owner. but at the same time I felt relieved thinking it was for the best. It felt like the last remaining tie to Nicholas had been erased, which suited me just fine. Nicholas had been following behind Eleanor ever since he arrived. Like a silent guardian, he remained at her back without uttering a single word, without even glancing at me. Seeing that the cats had already been delivered, I turned to head back to the office. Wait a moment, my footsteps halted. The speaker was Nicholas. The barrage of comments surged wildly once more. The male lead finally speaks. Sigh. He was struggling over there for so long originally, wanting to comfort the female lead, thinking she would take the initiative to talk to him, but the female lead didn't even glance at him, and now he asks, being sulky again. Sweetheart, just forgive the male lead. Already look at him, his eyes are red. He missed you so much these days and never really wanted to break up. He couldn't even sleep at night without hugging that blanket. It's honestly pitiful. Yeah, he is just a bit proud, a bit dramatic, and a bit stubborn, but he truly loves you. If you just say one gentle word, he'd practically dig his heart out for you. Stop being angry already. I stood for a moment, and when Nicholas remained silent, I turned to leave. Wait a second, this time it was Eleanor who spoke. Eleanor stepped forward, holding Blake in her arms. She gave me a once-over, then curled the corner of her mouth. Since you're moving out, there's no need to keep the keys, hand them over to me. She laughed. The senior was too embarrassed to ask, so I'll play the villain instead. With that, Eleanor extended her hand toward me. I looked up and saw Nicholas watching us. Seeing me look at him, Nicholas merely pursed his lips without refuting anything. An inexplicable tightness gripped my chest, as if I couldn't quite catch my breath. What hurt me more was that Blake seemed to notice the tension between Eleanor and me. To my dismay, it unhesitatingly took Eleanor's side, baring its teeth at me. He even left several deep bloody scratches on my arm. Sis, no, don't be fooled by how the male lead looks right now. What he actually wanted to say was whether he should pick you up tonight. I swear to heaven, he asked rehearsed this line hundreds of times in his heart, but was afraid you'd reject him, so he couldn't bring himself to say it. That right before coming, he already cleaned the entire house. He knows you like cleanliness. He even deliberately changed all the bedsheets and duvet covers to new ones just waiting for you to come home. And he bought your favorite crayfish. He is planning to cook them for you as soon as you get back, the spicy mala flavor. Sis, don't be sad now. If you just step forward and take his hand, I guarantee he immediately dropped to his knees. I promise you 1,000 times. But I'm already tired. I don't want to read the bullet comments anymore. Nor do I care whether Nicholas really wants to win me back or just retrieve his keys. I don't care anymore. Don't care about Eleanor's smug face either. I don't want to see Nicholas again either. I looked at Eleanor seriously. Don't worry, since I've already moved out, I wouldn't keep the keys with me. I hung the house keys on the shelf above the shoe cabinet on the left side of the entrance. He might not have noticed these past few days. You can look carefully when you get back. Goodbye, I nodded, ignoring the two people behind me as I returned to the company. Of course, what I really wanted to say was goodbye forever. Just as I arrived at the office, the general manager called a few of us key employees into his office. He said there was trouble at the branch office and asked who among us could go. Everyone seemed a bit hesitant after hearing this. Mary's child was in their final year of high school, a particularly stressful time. Ella had just become pregnant and wasn't suited for traveling back and forth. Ford's mother had apparently just been hospitalized, keeping him completely overwhelmed. I didn't think twice and stepped forward. General Manager Alexander, I'll go. The general manager was pleased with my initiative and promised that if I successfully resolved the branch office's issues, I would be promoted upon my return. I smiled and thanked the general manager. The company booked me an evening ticket. I barely had time to pack a few clothes before boarding the plane to Haicheng. It was midnight when I arrived, but the colleagues in Haicheng were still working overtime. I didn't even have time to check into a hotel that same day. I worked overtime with my branch office colleagues until nearly dawn. For the next 2 weeks straight, my colleagues at the branch office and I worked around the clock, even risking alcohol-induced stomach perforation on several occasions just to secure a crucial deal with a major client. On the day the contract was signed, everyone held a celebration banquet. I gave all my colleagues a day off. And I myself didn't wake up until noon the next day. I lay on the hotel bed staring at the exquisite chandelier on the ceiling, suddenly feeling as if I'd lost all sense of time. I picked up my phone and glanced at the date. It suddenly dawned on me that I'd already been in Haicheng for 17 days. 17 days, more than 2 weeks. Not once did I think of Nicholas. Ever since arriving in Haicheng, it's as if all the good and bad from before, happy days, joyful moments, and unhappy times, all have left me behind. I no longer cared about Nicholas's moods, nor did I pay attention to his life. This seems actually quite nice. Having a rare day off, I didn't feel like getting up either, just scrolling through my phone. For the past 2 weeks, forget about browsing my phone, I hadn't even opened my social media feed. As soon as I did, I noticed that Nicholas, who usually never posts, had been updating his feed with unusual frequency lately. Cooking, playing with the cat, taking a walk, gathering with friends, even attending concerts. Every social media post featured Eleanor. Sometimes he'd even post 7 or 8 WeChat moments in a single day. Strangely enough, when I saw these again, I felt nothing. I thought perhaps this is how Nicholas normally behaves when he is in a relationship. Not like when he was with me, when he wouldn't post anything on moments at all. Even when we were out with friends, he would turn a deaf ear to the occasional belittling remarks his friends made about me. Instead, it made me spiral into self-doubt and emotional turmoil every time, only to pick myself up again and again. Good for them. Seems like everyone has moved on with their lives since I left. If Nicholas's social media posts were still somewhat ambiguous, Then Eleanor S. posts clearly painted a picture of her already living with Nicholas. Washing Nicholas S. underwear, the alarm clock on Nicholas S. bedside table, a pair of slippers by the door at 2:30 in the morning. Several of her old friends liked her social media post. Some even directly asked in the comments whether she was living with Nicholas. Although Eleanor didn't say anything, she replied with a bashful emoji. For some particularly well-taken photos or pictures with beautiful scenery, I couldn't help but give them a like. The general manager just sent me a message asking when I'd be returning.
9. I want to stay.
Coincidentally, the branch office needed someone to take charge. I thought I'd be perfect for it. 10. Upon receiving the affirmative reply, I suddenly felt elated. I stood up and drew open the curtains. Beyond the floor to ceiling windows lay the sea and the warmth of spring in full bloom. And I will have it all. I immediately opened my phone and searched for nearby rental listings. Soon I found an apartment near my workplace. The place was right by the sea, just a 2-minute walk to the beach. The scenery around the island is quite beautiful with convenient living conditions. You don't even need to take a bus to work. Although the rent is a bit pricey, money is meant to be spent right. I'd rather buy one less piece of clothing if it means saving money that can bring me joy every day. Worth it. By the time I finished tidying up my place, it was already 1 a.m. I saw a message Nicholas had sent earlier on my phone. Nothing much, just a. I checked the timestamp. It was sent right after I liked his social media post. I didn't understand what he meant. I simply replied with a. But to my surprise, the message I sent was rejected. He had blocked me. Suddenly, I felt exhausted again. Every time we fought before, he would block me too. Not only WeChat, but even phone calls and all other means of contact. And each time I had to coax him for a long time before he'd agree to unblock me. I never expected that after we'd been broken up for so long, he'd still pull this trick. Fine, but since we're already broken up, there's no need to stay in touch. Now, everyone has moved on with their lives and there's really no need for our paths to cross again. So I blocked Nicholas. Not just Nicholas, but also Lin Wanwan, and even all those so-called friends of his. I blocked every single one of them. Another week passed, and I prepared to return to my original city to handle matters regarding my rented apartment there. Truth be told, there wasn't much to pack up, but there were still some personal belongings left. So I still needed to make the trip back. 11. After returning, the first thing I did was terminate the lease. Pushing my suitcase downstairs, I unexpectedly spotted Nicholas, waiting at the building entrance. There he stood, eyes bloodshot, gazing at me with a wounded, accusatory expression, as though I'd done something unforgivable to him. My steps faltered momentarily before I continued walking toward him. Where are you going? Nicholas' voice couldn't help but tremble. The barrage of comments appeared again. Looks like our girl is really giving up on the male lead this time. Too bad the male lead still thinks the female lead is just throwing a tantrum, but she's already healed from the hurt. Once she leaves this time, she won't be coming back. Poor guy kept waiting for her to come back and comfort him, but alas, this time, she didn't even look back. Where are you going? Nicholas stared at me stubbornly. I sighed. Let us go sit somewhere nearby. No matter what, this relationship deserves a proper chance to draw its final conclusion. Inside the cafe, Nicholas sat down in silence. A server happened to come by to take our orders, and when it was my turn, he instinctively spoke to the server instead. A black coffee, ice please. I helplessly called out to the departing waiter. A caramel macchiato, please. After the waiter left, we fell into silence again. Nicholas never seemed to notice that I hadn't had an Americano in a long time. Gabriel, about what happened last time, I can explain. I found it a bit odd. Explain what? Nicholas fell silent again, as if struggling to find the right words. It was during that truth or dare game at the bar last time I kissed Eleanor. I suddenly understood. It's fine, I don't mind. Besides, we've already broken up. Why would I still care about these things? Little did I know something in my words had unknowingly upset Nicholas, and his face darkened again. You don't mind? If you don't mind, then why are you moving out? I opened my mouth but found myself at a loss for words. I wanted to say that actually I'd already moved out before that day. I wanted to say that I truly didn't care at all about whatever was going on between him and Eleanor, because we've already broken up. A clean break at that. Not only have we not contacted each other for over a month, but we've also blocked and deleted each other, severing all ties completely. This is just perfect. Why aren't you saying anything? But seeing Nicholas looking at me like I'm the one being unreasonable, like I'm the one who wronged him. I'm just so emotionally exhausted. This kind of exhaustion hadn't assaulted me for the past month. But the moment I saw Nicholas, the first couldn't help reacting like a triggered reflex. That suffocating feeling surged through me again. Nicholas, we've already broken up. What is the point of saying all this? Nicholas opened his mouth. It took him a long while to finally say. But I never agreed. My voice turned cold. But you made me move out. You were afraid I'd keep bothering you if I had your key, so you even brought someone along to get it back from me. You even kissed another woman right in front of me. And we haven't contacted each other for a month. We've deleted and blocked each other. With every word I spoke, Nicholas's face grew paler. Finally, his lips trembling, he couldn't help but clutch my hand tightly. I can explain. Actually, I interrupted him again. Nicholas, we've broken up. It's been a month. We've broken up completely and thoroughly, even blocked and deleted each other. We didn't break up. When did we ever break up? When did I ever agree to that? Nicholas couldn't help but stand up. I made you move out. That was my mistake. I admitted I did it because I thought I could control you. So I spoke without thinking. I apologized to you, Gabrielle. But that one time I only kissed Eleanor to make you jealous because you were ignoring me. You know me, I like you so much, love you so much. How could I just casually kiss someone else? I only did it to upset you, and all those posts I made on social media recently, I only posted them to provoke you, Gabriel. I saw you weren't reaching out, so I wanted to get a reaction, believe me, okay? I stood up too, fine, I believe you. But Nicholas, we've already broken up, let us just end it here. Don't make me look down on you. Whether he said it to provoke me, or for whatever reason there's no future between Nicholas and me anymore. At the very least, I'll never let myself get trapped in a relationship where I could be kicked out of the house at any moment. 12 Nicholas followed me all the way to Haicheng. He began appearing before me from time to time, even starting to do things for me that he had never been willing to do before. He bought me breakfast, started picking me up from work downstairs at my company, and even though I refused many times, he still took great pleasure in it. Until one day, when a typhoon hit Haicheng, he stubbornly waited downstairs at my company and was knocked unconscious by a trash can blown over by the strong wind. When he woke up in the hospital and saw me sitting by his bedside, a flash of joy passed through his eyes. Gabriel, you've forgiven me, Haven TUI. Before he could finish, I placed his phone in front of him. The message was from Eleanor. She said she was pregnant. The child is Nicholas S. After he fainted, I took him to the hospital to pay the hospitalization fee. I used his phone. The password hadn't changed, just then a message came in, and I instinctively glanced at it, that S, when I saw Eleanor S. message. Nicholas stared at his phone, his face deathly pale. Finally his tears began to fall uncontrollably. Gabriel, you'll never forgive me, will you? We'll never have another chance, will we? As I closed the door, I could still hear the wails coming from the hospital room. 3 years later, I was transferred back to the original city. I got promoted at work and finally bought an apartment near the company. It marked the end of my days renting. Over the past few years, I heard Nicholas and Eleanor got married, but it seems their marriage hasn't been going well. Later, I heard they got divorced. The child went to Nicholas, and Eleanor seemed to have gone abroad. After that, I kept receiving strange phone calls. Someone would pick up, but never speak. Oh, the male lead is so stubborn. He is clearly dying to come back and make up with the female lead right now, yet his mouth is so full and unyielding, still talking about breaking up. Is this really how insecurity manifests? That day I saw a stray cat downstairs at my office. The kitten was covered in ringworm, its fur dry and dull, and it even had a limp in one leg. I looked at the cat and found it familiar. Blackie the kitten looked up at me and suddenly let out an affectionate meow. It started hobbling toward me eagerly. I took a step back, avoiding it. But I still went to buy cat food and contacted the rescue station to send it there, though the wounds of the past have already healed. But that doesn't mean I'll forgive. The end.